Welcome back to episode 7 of The Insider, Navigating Online Learning from the Inside Out. This week we are talking about finals, which are coming up really soon. I'm here today with Coach Kenley, and we are going to be running you guys through some tips for finals, some tips on ProctorU, and how to just make sure that you're starting off your finals week on the right foot and have everything you need so that you can focus on completing those exams and getting everything wrapped up for your semester. So to start us off, Kenley is going to talk about some study tips.
Yeah, so as finals come about, it's really important to make sure you have your study methods down and that you're studying in the most effective way possible. These are some of the ways that Celine and I think is most effective to study for finals, and we just wanted to share it with you. The first thing is a proper workspace. Make sure you're at a desk or a table, that it's clean, that you're limiting your distractions, and you'll be able to focus a lot better on your study material. Another good way is through study guides. Sometimes courses will provide a study guide from your professor, which is always very helpful, but you can always make your own study guide as well, and I've definitely done that many times. And one way to do that is to go back through your syllabus and to write down the main objectives and the unit goals and make sure that you have an understanding of all of those and write down information pertaining to all those objectives. And then also, when you view your syllabus, it's good to review because it refreshes your memory and helps you not forget any topics that you have covered in the semester. Another good way is to review textbook readings, assignments, and lectures. And also, the best way, in my opinion, is to review your previous exams and see which questions you got wrong so you can improve on it the next test.
Something super important when you're studying for finals is using tutoring, especially taking advantage of TutorMe. We know that sometimes when you're studying for finals, it can come down to like the last sort of minute. And as much as you don't want to be cramming, sometimes, you're that night before trying to understand a complicated topic or subject matter and you don't have access to the Student Success Center's tutoring. So we really recommend using TutorMe to get connected to a tutor at any time of the day. They can connect you for any class that you might be taking, whether it's math, history, even writing. If you need help like with citations or with an essay, you'll get matched with a tutor who has mastered that topic and that subject, and they can take you through like a mini lesson, or if you have an example problem in math or chemistry that you need help working out, they can also take you through a longer like step-by-step process just so that you can understand those concepts. And it's really helpful for any last minute studying that you're using, and also just any time. Especially if you don't have direct access to your instructor, you can reach out and use TutorMe, and that can be found through the Blackboard course that all of the online students have been added to.
So we also want you to make sure you know the final examination policy at the University of Arkansas. Um, we know that you probably are super busy and you have multiple exams, but if you have multiple exams in one day, during finals week, students are required to sit for no more than two final exams in a single calendar day. Students with three or more finals in a single day have the right to an alternative exam date for each exam exceeding two. Details can be found in the final examination policy on the website at the University of Arkansas. If you can't find it, you can always message us and we can help you find it. But this is really important to remember because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And if you do have more than two exams on one day, you'll just need to reach out and communicate with your professor to talk about the alternate exam date.
And to piggyback off of the scheduling of exams, something that you might need to keep in mind for proctored online exams is scheduling those exams ahead of time. So usually students will have that whole sort of finals week to schedule their exam. Instructors are pretty understanding that you have a lot of different exams going on at once, and so they don't, want you to have to take more than one in each day if possible. So just making sure that you schedule your exam ahead of time and then mark that in your calendar. Make sure that you, when you're going to be taking that, as well as ahead of time, making sure that your technology is working properly. That includes like your camera and just making sure that you don't have any notebooks or notes or textbooks out on your desk so that, when they do like a room check or anything like that, you won't have anything that could cause a red flag. And we actually have done in the past a recording of ProctorU webinar that goes into more detail of the different steps. Hopefully in your final exams, you aren't using ProctorU for the very first time. Hopefully you've used it already in the class. But if anything does arise, you can also reach out to the ProctorU team and also be sure to reach out to your instructor if anything does happen. And they'll help make sure and troubleshoot with you and make sure that you get that text completed.
Yeah, so we know that finals is very stressful for a lot of people, and with the spring semester coming up, we know that you may have a lot of questions about the advising process. Especially if you're a new student, you need to know if you've gotten through the new student checklist, or if you just want general information about how online courses are run, then a great place to start is to meet with a coach. And so you can meet with any of our coaches. We have their contact information over here on the right. You can also email onlcoach@uark.edu or lpncoach at uark.edu, and we all have access to those messages so we can respond in a timely manner. We also have lots of availability for appointments if you want to have a coaching meeting, and we can talk about success tips in online courses and about any general questions you have. And we want to make sure you feel confident about the spring semester and about your exams, so feel free to reach out to us or schedule a meeting as well.
And we know that right now you're focusing on exams, but after exam week, and even as we get ready for exams, we want to make sure that you are focusing also on the future in that spring semester and just getting ready, especially with like planning of classes and getting enrolled. Courses have been open for um, quite some time now, and the deadline to sign up will be on January 22nd. So you'll have some time from now to finalize your schedule, but you want to make sure to meet with an advisor before you enroll, and especially if you have any questions about what classes you need to be taking. If maybe if you dropped a class this semester, you're going to need to reform your academic plan. And so if you do have questions about like how to find your advisor or have questions about the virtual walk-in process, just let your coach know and they can help you make sure that an advisor gets into contact with you. And then especially logging in to your degree audit, that's going to show you, how many courses you have left and what courses you've already completed. And your advisor will help you look at that as well to make sure that you're staying on track throughout your degree. And then for new students, online orientation will be in the weeks leading up to the semester. And so it'll be a great way to like get familiar with Blackboard as well as learn about the resources at the U of A, and you'll get more familiar with your coach as well as advising and the tutoring center and library, and just so that you can be aware of those resources before you start, as well as have your facilitator and orientation just be there to welcome you and help you get used to the different websites that we use. That way on your first day of class, you are good to go and you're comfortable with the online format, and then can just get started with that semester.
Well, that's all we have for you today on episode 7 of The Insider. We really appreciate you joining us or watching later on our YouTube channel. But we wanted to remind you that our next episode will be December 19th instead of the last Tuesday of the month, because that would be Christmas break. But tune in on December 19th at 6 p.m., and this will be our final episode of 2023. We're going to go back over some of the topics that we've covered this year, talk about how we're wrapping up this year and some fun Christmas plans we may have, but then also talking about some of the things we're looking forward to in 2024. So thank you so much for joining, and remember to reach out to us if you have any questions.